Okay, we're going to work on number 3 here, and first I did a little pencil sketch with ink over it to give you a feel of this is your larger cloud, it's closer to you. As things go back to the vanishing point or the horizon line, they get smaller and smaller. So I thought this was very helpful, and this would be your ground area. But I just thought it was helpful. It was kind of an aha moment for me to see that. We're going to do something along the lines of this type of painting on this for number 3. It probably will require some practice to get it to come in for you. It's a good painting for a large sky. We want our number 14 round brush, our number 10 round, and your clear water brush. It's going to be wet into dry, and you want to mix a large puddle of a tea coffee consistency of your cerulean blue chromium, and then also mix a small puddle of tea coffee consistency of your cerulean blue chromium and a small amount of burnt sienna. So I'm looking for colors something like that. And the amount that I mixed is shown here. And you can see that my cerulean blue chromium still kind of runs, so it is still that tea coffee consistency. And this is running a little bit, so it's verging on a little bit of a thicker color or value. So we're going to with a slightly damp number 14 round brush, we pick up the cerulean blue chromium. We're going to start across the paper. There shouldn't be any breaks of color in your stroke. If so, repeat the stroke. If you still get breaks, you probably want to put some water on your brush and pick up more color. As you come down the paper, you want to think of the large cumulus cloud. And as your brush gets closer to the top of the cloud, I want you to, we'll rock our brush into the top of the cloud, and it kind of makes a little soft, fluffy break, so it's not totally round. So this will be the near cloud that I just talked about. And then we'll continue across the page with pure color, and we'll continue the process down here as we start getting into the next lower cloud. And you can see I start to try to flatten them. So we're starting to see the recess of the cloud in the base. So this will be, as I said, flattening the bottom. And this will be the smaller cloud. And then once these clouds are dry, you'll pick up the mix of the cerulean blue chromium and the burnt sienna with your number 10 round. And you'll have your clear water brush handy to soften the edges. And you put some of the color mix at the bottom of the cloud to round up into the middle. So I kind of made more of a stroke like this because we always have the clouds being puffy. And then your clear water brush to soften around the edges. So let's get going. So I have my moistened number 14 brush, and I'm swirling it in my paint. And I'm going to come across. So you can go back and forth like I'm doing here. And you can start to come down. Maybe I'll want it to come in right about here. So you can see I'm starting to make a little bit of the, break this up a little bit, the soft edges of the cloud, and then I'm going back into the color again because we don't want to let that line get too dry. So once again, I'm trying to rock my edges just to create some softness like that. And then I'm going to come down to my next cloud, and that one's going to come off the page a little bit. And let's see. And let's see, okay, so this guy is going to come across. And I'm going to pick up some more paint. And I'm thinking how this is going to come across. And you can see I'm kind of pushing into the middle of the brush. And then I'm coming back over here. And you can go up and down like that. We kind of want, you know, some soft, almost a little bit of a dry brush feel. And then we're going to bring this down. I'm going to put a little more water in my brush because we do want it to be a little bit lighter as it comes down towards the horizon. You can see that's starting to dry, so I was talking too much and not painting. And let's put in the last little guy down in here. So by rocking the brush a little bit, I did get some of the shapes of the cloud. And remember, this is more distant, so I did add a little more water to my brush, back into the paint. So to keep this going, I've wet my 10 brush, I've wet my clear water brush, and I'm picking up my mix of the cerulean blue chromium and the burnt sienna. I'm going to bring that across a little bit, and it can go into the blueness of the so remember, we don't want the clear water brush to be too wet. We just want to be softening those edges. And I'm going to go into this cloud now. And you can see using the side of the brush. Very soft. And you can see I can pull up a little bit of color if I want to. But typically we want it to be really soft and rounded. And I'm just going to go across here just to create a little bit of a flatness. And as I come across, you can see some of the color goes into the moist paint that's there already. And then for the closest cloud, and you can, like I'm doing now, you can wet the area first and then go in if you can see where it's wet. I'm going to lighten that color up a little bit because it's getting closer to us. Oh well, got a little blob of paint in it. And if you want, you can always lift out a little bit with your clear water brush. And a paper towel. think I'm done.